This is it, the new Wrangler JL, and a new Wrangler doesn't come around that often. In fact, it's about every 10 years. So when one does, it immediately becomes the belle of the ball here at the Los Angeles Auto Show. And coming up right now, we're going to take a deep dive with the man who designed it. Guys, there's so much to talk about in this new Wrangler JL, including this soft top by our friends at Best Top. And Best Top is a sponsor of this video. But before we get to that, let's go over to the red Rubicon and have Mark walk me through the front of the Jeep and show you just how it's changed. Best Top and Jeep go together like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, they've been the exclusive provider for soft tops to Jeep for more than 30 years. If you need a new premium soft top or other upgrade to your Wrangler like power running boards, doors, or bikinis, visit Best Top by clicking on the link below and check them out. All right, Mark, let's start with the front of the Jeep. First and foremost, obviously the biggest clue that it's different is the 7-slotted grille with the light indentation. What's the inspiration for that?
It's actually bigger than that. It's first off, the grille is now a proper keystone shape again. It had kind of migrated to a square shape and it's bothered me. I have a personal affection for CJs, and I think it was important for me to pump a lot of CJ into this. There's actually a few different Jeeps in here, but you're right. The headlight, when they federalized the little flat fender, the big 7-inch headlight grew into the grille, and they kept it on the CJ5, and I was like, what a great detail. We'll bring it in here. Also, the grille's got a little snap in it, which the YJ had, and my TJ has that as well. But I just wanted to make the face. Increase the size of all the elements. The lights are bigger, the grille slots are bigger, and the face is just more Jeep, if that makes sense. This happens to be a Rubicon, so we've returned with a more aggressive vented hood that's only on the Rubicon. Metal bumpers available on the Rubicon, and we retained the feature where this end piece can come off for increased approach angle.
Under the hood, there are going to be not one, not two, but 3 engine options. Of course, the Pentastar V6 is the base engine, but now there's a new 2-liter turbo with an electric hybrid component that's going to be the top of the line engine. And coming in 2019, a new 3-liter diesel. And coming in 2020, there's also a plug-in hybrid. So we're going to have actually 4 powertrain choices in the new Wrangler in the next 2 to 3 years.
This is an LED headlamp, so it features an LED projector main beam, and then upper and lower cavities are reflector LEDs. There's also a halo feature light around that, daytime running light, and turn signal out here, which are both LED.
Tell me about the fenders, are also much higher.
So what we did on Rubicon, the fenders are about 2 inches higher than a standard Sport or a Sahara. And what we did was cleared out the whole wheel opening. This is now a 33-inch all-terrain tire, but we cleared out the wheel opening, put a 35 on there straight away if you want. It's cleared out for you. Or add a lift, either way you want to do it. The hood is now a bit longer, and it's level. So I'd always kind of had an issue with it going downhill on the JK. So this is a lot more CJ to me, this big rolled section.
And you fixed the flutter, right? I mean, there was always a little bit of a flutter when you got fast.
Two things to fix the flutter. Yep. So this is what we call a Lunchbox Latch. It's an over-center positive latch now. There's actually a little relief here to get the winch cable through, right, when you tie that up. The other thing we did was to relieve some of the underhood pressure. There's a vent here now, and that goes all the way through the engine compartment.
So it's functional, not
It is functional. A lot of people ask, is that a fake vent? Like, I'm not going to put a fake vent on a Wrangler. So there was a need, and we just kind of made a meal out of it.
I noticed you went from mud terrains.
Mud terrains to all terrains, and it's a better tire for everyday use. I know that if you're going to go hardcore rock crawling, you're probably going to pick up a set of mud terrains, but these are better in the snow, better in just the wet, and they're quieter, ride nicer.
And you kept the traditional antenna.
You know what? We really thought we were going to get rid of the antenna, the metal whip antenna, but being a removable hardtop or a convertible, the windshield folding, all that stuff, it had to remain it. I talked to somebody and I was kind of lamenting I didn't want the metal antenna, but they said, actually it's really great. When I lift my Jeep and go into a parking garage, that thing hits first and then I hear it.
Of course, a Wrangler isn't really about fuel economy, but Jeep has also thought of that. So this new JL gets about 2 to 3 mpg better fuel economy than the outgoing model, and part of that is because of weight reduction. All right, and of course, the biggest surprise was the foldable
Yes,
windscreen.
I was told directly by the chief engineer at some point that we would never have a folding windshield on a Wrangler again. And tell you what, manufacturing didn't want it because it's hard to assemble and paint and all that. Engineering hated it, and certainly customers were not asking for it. The reason why is we made it really difficult to do. It was 28 screws and take off, it took an hour and a half of your time. Now 4 screws, pull the wipers, and it's down. So it's a aluminum piece, aluminum frame, and then a flat piece of glass. So when it's laying on the hood, it's flat. That's not the potato chip. You keep the A-pillar bar, the rear view mirror, and the sun visor stay as well. I think it's a cool feature. In the world of homogenized cars, I have a folding windshield. How cool is that?
All you Jeep fans out there probably know that there are many trim levels to a Wrangler. Basically starts out at a Sport, then goes to a Sahara like this, which is kind of more or less the street version, and ends up at the Rubicon, the hardcore off-roader with the disconnectable sway bars and the locking differential. But if you get a hardtop like the Sahara, there's something new, and it's right up there. Andre, show them. That's right, check it out. It's a power sliding soft top, so that you no longer have to fight with the Freedom panels that were always kind of a pain in the butt to remove. You didn't know what to do with them, you didn't know where to store them. Now, the soft top just slides back, allowing you to have access to the wide open sky or wide open ceiling of this convention hall.
Rock rails are actually a little bit shorter,
shorter
to allow for you to put the 35 on. Kept the hinges, and you see the little T50 stamped in there, neat little detail. And T50 is the tool you need for the torque spits, pull the doors off. And we, of course, provide you the tool.
And these are, of course, the factory half doors, right?
That's how the half door is going to be. It has the hole in it for navigation, and it's just kind of a neat thing. Because there's not a piece of glass that drops in there on the half door, it's got the upper soft window. We took the opportunity to do the window
cool.
in it. It is cool.
It's really cool, yeah.
Imagine on a 4-door, you're a kid in the back seat and you get your window down there. How cool is that?
Yeah, no, it's really cool. And of course, now you've got the body colored
sport bar. So it's returned now as an exposed piece. We do all the head impact as hard pieces inside. This is a lot easier to clean. You can power wash it, and it looks like a modded Jeep.
So how much does this Wrangler cost? Well, Jeep has not announced pricing yet, but a base Sport starts at about $23, $24 in the current JK. I suspect it'll be more expensive. And of course, if you load it all up and you get the Rubicon edition with all the bells and whistles, currently gets to about $55,000. And I'm suspecting that's going to go higher. Let's show them the inside if we can open it.
This door's a mock-up.
So, I mean, you've done a lot of work on the inside.
Yes.
A lot of work.
So we actually pumped a lot of heritage into the instrument panel. It's a straight piece, flat across, nice detailing. All the bright work you see is actually real metal plating. This one happens to be a manual trans car. The big difference on the manual trans is now the transmission shifter is remoted. It's bolted to the body, so you don't get the shake that we had before. A lot of nice details on the interior. I think it's wonderful. A-pillar grab handles placed correctly there.
And a lot of soft touch materials.
A lot of soft touch. The top of the IP, the seats are beautifully done. The center console. On the full doors, you get padding up here as well. The armrests, we made those a lot wider, a lot more comfortable. The rear seat in the 4-door, when we added a little bit of wheelbase, we gave it an inch to the back seat, and then a lot more recline to the back seat.
Yeah, and I noticed you also added these kind of military-style straps back here, so you could add stuff to it.
Yeah, on the Rubicon, it's called a Molly grid, so you can weave in there backpacks or packs and things like that. I think we kept an eye on the aftermarket. Just want to let them go crazy. You've been to SEMA, the second floor is just wall-to-wall Wranglers. They're bored with them. They want a new one, so here we go.
Mark, some people ask the color of the dashboard. Does it match the exterior usually, or?
No. So on the Rubicon, okay, those are called the mid-bolster, and you get the anodized red or gray. It's an option. You can pick the one you want. I think the anodized red is pretty cool, but it depends on the exterior color of your car, right?
So this is a Best Top, right?
Yes, it
So
is.
it's aftermarket.
It is. Well, that's
Well,
their OEM for us.
They're OEM for you,
Yeah.
and they do a lot of aftermarket.
I think they've always been
From the
the
beginning,
soft
yeah.
top supplier. Yeah.
All right, so show me how it works.
Okay, so four-door soft top, I think, is a big improvement on this car, and I want to show it to you. There's a reason nobody makes the station wagon convertible. It's difficult to do. We improved it in several different ways. This one, we've got the side curtains off, but the side curtains come off now without, there's no zipper anymore. It's just a very simple operation to get the side curtains and the backlight off. Once you do that, you have this. 2 latches on the header. Flip that back.
Sunroof.
Yes, you can throw this back at the stoplight. Really easy to do. Now walk around to the back of the car. Grab that latch. You do it. Right here, one side. Stand over here.
Okay.
Grab that latch and just pull down.
So light.
Way easier.
Yeah.
Now to put it back up, it's just the reverse. Done. I like the look, the Safari style without the pillars back there, coolers back there or whatever, you can still get to it. Really cool.
One of the things that hasn't changed about the Wrangler is, of course, that it is Jeep's ultimate off-road vehicle. And Mark Allen has made sure that this will go up the Rubicon Trail or perhaps up Everest. Let me explain. More room in the back for the passengers.
Not in the two-door. That's still tight, but we want to keep the two-door really tight.
Okay.
The four-door, so overall, the front wheel moved forward about 1.5 inches, and that was to fit the 8-speed transmission. And then on the four-door, we moved the rear wheel back 1 inch. So it grew a little bit, but then we got a little bit more height out of it and trimmed the ends of it.
Speaking of kind of off-road cred, what are the diffs and what's underneath? Is it all Wrangler?
Dana 44, beefed up axle tubes on it. That was asked for. Keeping the locking axles, the disconnecting front sway bar that we know about. Really, the big story is the larger tire, the larger diameter tire, and then clearing out the wheelhouses as well.
How big did you go?
When we widened the axles, that actually got us, since the tire is farther away from the frame rail now, much better turning circle. So off-road, you would notice that right away. You can throw a 35 on right away, which is kind of the standard. I'm going off-road and tire, right?
And now in here, a lot of electronics incorporated into this, right?
LED feature taillight, and this is an option up from the base car, blind spot monitoring. So that was a really difficult packaging execution because the monitor needs to see past this fender and past the spare tire. So it kept pushing it out, and we kept trying to push it back in. But anyway, I think we're satisfied with it in the end. Neat little detail, the hinges returned to being a aluminum forging without the plastic cover, so it's like the door hinge now. It's always body color. The tailgate got wider. Every piece of glass in the vehicle got larger, all the openings. Spare tire we moved down. Chimsel went with it. And also the backlight on the hard top got wider. The other thing you can do now is drop the headrests independently of the seat and also move the wiper motor down behind the spare tire. That all adds up to much better visibility out of the back, which has always been a bit difficult on a Wrangler.
And over here, you've got
backup camera, 100%. So it doesn't matter which model you get a backup camera on it. If there's ever a vehicle that needed a backup camera, it's Wrangler. Tailgate's notable that it's a magnesium casting, the tailgate. The inner is a magnesium casting, the outer is an aluminum skin, and it's wider. We actually even clip the corners of it. So when you swing this off, you're off on a trail somewhere, and
I love this. That's so cool. It's reminiscent of the old military.
Throw back to the old data plates, And it's actually an aluminum piece that's riveted on there. Has some of the key measurements of the vehicle.
Hangers for all kinds of odds and ends.
Yep. Trail rail.
Yeah.
So people ask about the sub. It's in the floor on the two-door. On the four-door, it's up against the wall. Actually made the.
Oh, and you still have a little place for the
bolts.
Yeah, that's
for the top and for the doors.
What's your favorite? I mean, you poured your heart and soul into this. Oh, and you moved the license plate too.
We had to because we made the tailgate wider,
Yeah.
so it moved down. Actually, and it helps a little bit too, just distinctive and away from the JK.
Yeah, what do you
Three things that are really stand out for me that I like. Of course, I like the way it looks, but The folding windshield was something we sort of laid down on the tracks for and wanted to keep, just because it's unique, right? The painted body color sports bar was a big deal for us, and the way the soft top works. I think the way the soft top works is kind of the hidden gem here. I'll go show you on the four-door, and it's so much easier now. I think people buy a four-door soft top, struggle to put it down, and never put it back, never do it, and they bought that feature, and I want them to use it.
So at this point, you're probably wondering, take my money, Jeep, take my money. Well, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. This Jeep will be available in the first quarter of 2018. Now, keep in mind that we're gonna be driving this thing very soon, so come back to TFL Car for a complete first drive review, and you betcha we're gonna take it off-road and we're gonna take it on-road as well. As always, this is Roman reporting for the Fast Lane Car. Check out tflcar.com for more news, views, and of course, your very first Jeep JL Wrangler review.